Okay.
Yeah,
All right. All right. So I want to go ahead and welcome Javier for calling in today again and spending an hour or two with us and continue down his path in the California Department of Corrections. How are you doing today, Javier?
I'm doing pretty good, homie. Just came back in from yard. I made it to the tienda. I was actually first in line, so everything's good so far.
Hey, how'd you do that? Because yesterday when you were telling me, you say you normally have to pay them off. You got to bribe somebody, and or now you're going to be at the end of the line.
Oh, hey, you know what? That's actually a good way to start today. So sometimes I'm doing things, and I'm just doing them just because that's who I am, and a lot of people do things because they're being watched and they're trying to fucking, like there's people that are kiss asses right here with certain officers. Like if they're working, they wait for the sergeant to walk in the building and they start to clean. They start doing extra work and all, trying to stand out. We call them smackas. So me, when I'm out there sometimes, and I'm just doing what I do because that's who I am. And so I guess they were paying attention to me. Like a lot of times when I stand in line, and the cops are right there, and they watch us. They're watching us, and they see that people are cutting in front of me, and I'm not lashing out. I don't want to. I do. I mean, they can see it on my face that I'm getting mad, and I'm telling, my neighbor, hey, homie, this is bullshit. These dudes ain't supposed to be cutting like this. They're coming out of nowhere, and we've been standing here, and I'm pretty sure the cops kind of like to read and kind of see our body language that we're getting agitated. So I walk away. I use that as a coping skill. Like instead of me lashing out and getting mad, and I see that me standing in line is getting me mad because these dudes are cutting in line and they're paying the canteen man so they could go first. Instead of me getting mad and fighting over it, I just walk away. So I guess I did that a couple of times. So today I go out there and the line's already pretty big. There's probably like about 20 people in line, and the dip bars and the pull-ups and the little exercise area is right next to it. So I drive up. I got my little laundry bag and I put it down. I got my cup of coffee and I'm right there with the homie. I'm working out, and the lady that runs the store, she sticks her head out a little bit because the little slot where they pass the food is too small. You cannot stick your whole head out, but you can stick like maybe like your nose part in your eyes and to look outwards. And she seen me and she's like, "Hey, Yanez, hey, come here real quick. Are you third draw?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm gonna let you chop first." And I'm like, "What the hell?" And everybody's looking at me, hate like already hating on me, and they're looking at me like, "What the hell?" So I go up there because every time I go to the window. I always like I make her laugh, and I always talk about she's a human. She's just working there. She's not we. She's nothing no different than us. So I treat her the same, and I talk to her like if she's just a regular person like us. And I always say hi, how you doing? And I start out a little small conversation, small talk. And so I went up there and I was like, "Hey, what's up? Why you ain't got no Christmas lights on your window and no Christmas tree? Where's the Christmas tree?" And she's like, "Hey, man, just I called you because I already know, man, how you are. I seen you standing in line. A lot of times you just walk away, so I thought I'd get you out the way." But I was feeling uncomfortable, like, man, because people get mad at I mean, in simple things. That's nothing. I'm not going to the store, $250 like most people go. I'm going in there with like 20, 30, $50, and I'm fast. They get out the way, and I never go up there with the list. They already know I want my creamer, I want my coffee, and I want some soups, and so they do the whole thing themselves. So I never take a paper. I just take my ID. So yeah, I got lucky today. I went up there and she, like, "Hey, well, you got $1.90 left," and there was a dude right there standing right next to me. He's like, "Hey, give me a sandwich, ice cream sandwich or something like that." And she heard, she like, "Nah, don't get that fool shit. You can get a soda and a soup still. You want the soda and the soup?" I like, "Nah, give him his little ice cream sandwich. And the homie on the other side is like, "Man, that dude always does that, man. He goes over there to try to help people, and then he'll ask them for something." But I could not say no. That's just who I am. It's nothing. It's worth to me, it's worth me giving him that little ice cream sandwich or whatever instead of me saying no, and then later on the line, him calling me a tightwad or some other kind of word. So yeah, I did it, and I walked away and went back to the dip bars, and I started working out. Man, I was in such a good ass mood because I knew I didn't have to go through that line and having that little fucking that little having to feel some kind of way when people cut in front of me. So man, I was so grateful, man. I still am. But yeah, so far so good. My morning was pretty cool, man. I was right there with the homie. Oh, trip out on this. Okay, so now that I'm right there and we're starting it off like that, so we're right there working on the dips, right? And we hear on the mic, we hear on the walkie-talkie, you can hear these cops talking about a certain last name, and we're like, what the hell? And they keep you can hear it pretty loud, and it's getting serious. So they go behind Vote where they got all the classes. There's a big old wall, and then they got Work Change where all the vocational classes and all the little different kind of classes that are behind that other wall. You don't get to see on the other side, but you know that everybody's over there. So they pull this guy out of there, homie, and there's like 4 cops escorting him, and he looks drunk. And he looks like he's not right. And I know who he is. I don't know him by name, but I know who he is because I always see him in the dip bars and working out. And I'm tripping. I'm like, man, that fool is feeling either he's drunk or he's high on heroin or something. Well, they throw this fool in the program office, and then like 20 minutes later, the ambulance, the cops take off running, and they open the fence. There's a big old fence where the ambulance could drive in, and they could actually drive the big van inside the yard. So the ambulance comes, and they put this fool in the gurney, and they take him, right? And we're all still don't know what the hell is going on. We're like, what the fuck? So people are coming from behind the wall. They start to recall everybody from behind the wall. It turns out that there was like 10 people in one of the classes back there that was high on spice, and they're fucking over there hallucinating, and I guess it's like a hallucinating. I don't know what kind of drug. That's new to me. I never even heard. I think that's probably the third time I heard about that. People getting high on that stuff. So there was like 10 people hella high, right, in the class, and the ones that don't mess around were right there in the dip bars telling me what happened. They're like, yeah, man, that dude took 2 poker cards to the class, and I knew right away it was gonna be all bad because he said he pulled them out of his back pocket, and he said, hey, I brought 2 aces, so in case the devil want to play cards with me, I'll slap these 2 aces on him. And that dude looked at him like, oh yeah, this was high on something. So right away he stood away from all them dudes, and they had like a little corner where all the guys that were smoking and stuff, I guess they smoke it. So there was like a good 20 people high on spice on the yard, and when you hear about that, your first impulse is to make sure you check your neighbor. Okay, are you high on that? No, and kind of stay away from that because these dudes they some of these dudes were crying like little babies and slapping the walls, the tables, and they're like, what the hell are they doing that for? Why would you want to do some kind of drug that's going to alter your thinking like that and fucking pretty much degrade you? And I mean, the dude was crying like a baby, homie. He was crying like a baby. And they were telling me there was one inside the building that made a mask out of paper and poked 2 little holes on a piece of paper and tied it around his head, and he was butt-ass naked running in the day room. Like, what the fuck? What the hell is going on, I didn't see it, but I heard about it, and I know it's not made up because everybody's talking about it. Oh, yeah, this so-and-so and so-and-so was fucking high on spice, and he was butt-ass naked running in the day room. I'm like, man, what the hell is happening to prison, you see, in the active lines, if you see something like that, all these dudes are getting those repercussions, people are gonna get some their fucking their feathers plucked. They're gonna get poked on. They're gonna poke some holes on these dudes, that's a major disrespect, and plus especially being Mexican. You know, you can't make all.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So yeah, man. So this whole morning, it was crazy, dog. Like I came in and I was like, whew, I'm glad that's over with. You know, I came in
You have 60 seconds remaining.
and I couldn't help but to think, like, man, what the hell? The before, how prison used to be, to how it is now, it's like a whole 360, man. Like all a whole from night and day have a difference. Like it's getting used to the new kids that are coming in from outside and this new designer drugs. You know, shit that when I grew up, well, not me growing up as a kid, I remember they had PCP and all that other shit, and we knew that there was a very few. There wasn't a lot of dudes doing that shit. So you come to prison, and I mean everybody's jumping on this damn spice, and it's not been good coming out of it. You know, it's gonna hang up. So I'm gonna hang this one up and call right back.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
All right?
We'll be waiting. We'll be waiting.
Okay, okay,
All
okay.
right, and
All right.
for you guys that are tuning in right now, really appreciate it. Javier, he was actually able to provide me or have one of his family members provide me with some pictures. So I got them in this morning, and I started editing them for the thumbnail and for the stream. So he did give me a few other ones also that when he's younger, I'm gonna go ahead and just edit them a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and post them up throughout the upcoming streams that we're gonna be doing with him. I don't want to overwhelm you with a bunch of different images. So you know that'll definitely be coming your way sooner than later. All right, and there he is. He's calling us back. All right, let me see here. All right, here we go.
Call is now being
This is
recorded.
Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Javier Yanez.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, Javier, thank you for calling back. Like you know how we were speaking earlier on and about your photo, the photos that
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah,
cousin went
yeah.
ahead and provided us with, and there was already comments in regards to your picture. So first person typing in today is gonna be Lifestyles
Yeah.
Chronicles, and he put typing in, and then he put
Okay.
nice to put a face on the homie Javier 100%. Abuelita de Batman.
Abuelita de Batman. Oh, he cut it last time, huh?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Hey, I'm glad they're catching that lingo.
No, that was me.
Instead
That
of
was
saying
me.
a huevo, we say, "Oh, that was you."
That
Hey,
was
so you
me.
got that one, huh?
Yeah.
Make sure you throw it out there, man. That's the cool the cool lingo
I was
right
like,
there.
what
You
the? I was
know,
like, what the what? Abuelita de Batman? I never heard of that one, but
Abuelita de Batman. Yeah.
I'm add that one
Hey,
to
did you
my
get it
bag
the
of
first
tricks
time?
right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that what that one is, instead of saying that's right or a
Yeah.
huevo,
Uh huh.
we would say abuelita de Batman, way. Like, yeah, that's right. But yeah,
Oh, my lady, she's gonna be giving
hopefully we
some
can
weird
throw
looks
that one
today
out
when I
there.
tell her today. I'll be like, Abuelita de Batman. She'll be like, what the? We're like, what are you
Hey, they're
talking
gonna
about?
look at you first, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh,
Yeah. I'm
that means
like,
for sure.
yeah.
That means that's like the new lingo, the translation, like for sure,
I'm gonna
for
have to put her
sure.
up
Oh
on game
yeah,
right now.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no,
And,
but
and
yeah,
then
I'm glad you put that picture up there.
yeah, no, I put two. So I put one your thumbnail
Okay.
that has like the little
Mhm.
glow around you. So that's the one I sent. So hopefully
Yeah.
whoever's doing the pictures or the approvals
Yeah.
of the messages, they'll go ahead and approve that. So you could go ahead and
Yeah.
lay your eyes on it as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just put
Yeah.
a regular one in the video stream or the feed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
while we're talking,
Yeah.
they could see your picture. And then Lifestyles Chronicles put if you close your eyes and follow the message, it's explained by Javier so well. I feel like I'm right there, ready for commissary, picking up my sopas.
Hey, that's tight, dog. Hey, what a trip, man. Like this social media thing, you know, like like when I was fortunate enough to have a cell phone at one time that I already got in trouble for and I already paid the consequences for. So I'm not really saying nothing in there that I didn't really already do and they already don't already know. I always feared getting into like social media and out in the open and exposing my face and my picture. So now that I'm doing it in a legal, more legit way, it's a little different feeling. So I'm more content, I don't have like no kind of anxiety and feeling kind of worried about getting busted and the gooners rushing my house, and because it's all done legit. So yeah, that's a change. That's a little difference for a change right there. And you don't even know how relaxing that is to be able to hear it and say it and know that it's done and it's legit. So it could be done, man. Like we don't need no damn cell phones because that's pretty much what kept me in prison. The stupid cell phone, man. I had no idea they took that the write-ups were that serious.
Hey, let me
They
ask you.
take that more. Yeah,
So, when was the last time you got busted with a cell phone?
last year.
Last year.
Hey, a year. Yeah, look it. I got busted. Look it. So Chip. Okay. So this is how it went down, right? So okay, I was already going on 5 years, no write-ups, nothing. I was super doing good, homie. And everybody dying, homie. Three of my uncles died back to back. My abuelita died. And I was like, man, at that time we didn't have these tablets. We couldn't FaceTime. We couldn't do well, other prisons had it, but where I was at, we didn't have nothing, homie. We didn't have tablets. We didn't have nothing. So your only go to like to go to a funeral or to go say goodbye and pay your respects to a loved one was through a cell phone through FaceTime, right? So I risked it. I risked it on me, and I took that risk, and it happened. And at the time when I had it in my possession, the homies were like, "Hey, fool, they're gonna do a major search. We don't want it back. You can either do what you want to do, you could throw it away, whatever, right?" So I flipped the coin, homie, and I kept it. I kept it for the sake of me being able to see. Everybody's getting old in my family. My dad's getting old. My dad's in his 90s. My mom's in her 80s, and so I fear that that kind of loss is coming. So I was like, man, you know what? I'm not saying, and God forbid that it happens, before I get out of prison. But boy, at all costs, I would risk it just to see my mom and my dad, on their funeral and to be able to say goodbye, even if it's by FaceTime. So I wasn't doing no kind of like illegal activities or none of that. Yeah, I watched little porn here and there, but that's because mostly out of curiosity. Not because I was like, okay, so I'm gonna get this phone because I want to watch porn every night. Hell no, because it's not fun anyways. Because you're always on your toes, and the thought of you getting caught is always there. So you're never relaxed. You're always stressed out. You don't want to lose it. You don't want to get that write up. So yeah, I'm so glad that I don't have to go through that no more. But yeah, I think it was going on, yeah, like 2 years ago. I went to board, yeah, like let me see, yeah, we're going on 2 years. So yeah, that's only right. But I'm going on 6 years, no violence, and that's pretty much what really counts when you go to board. They want to see that you're not resorting, you're not a violent person. Because when they're laying you out, of course they don't want you to go and especially if you're busted for a murder, they don't want to let nobody that's still got that kind of criminal thinking that he's going to go out there and if somebody gets him mad and things don't go his way, he's going to go and kill him or he's going to do a drug deal and he's going to go and jack him or whatever. So for that, like when I go to board, I tell them like, yes, throughout the hearing, I pretty much just I stopped the hearing. I told them, you know what, I don't want to waste your guys' time. I know I'm not going to get a date. I just got this write-up for this phone right here, so I'll come back next time. And that's pretty much it. They kind of appreciated that. They're like, hey, well, we're glad you're not wasting our time. And just come back next time. Bring us some clean time. And now they're only
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
so by the time I go back again, I'll give them what they want, the 13 years. And yeah, man, you don't know how much I regret it, dog. That stupid phone, man.
Shit, I bet. I mean,
Yeah,
man, you're already close. I mean, if it wasn't for that, they probably would have granted you a parole already. You could have possibly been home. But oh, pues, I mean,
Oh, for sure,
you can't cry over spilled milk, you know?
for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. And they told me, they're like, Mr. Yanez, Mr. Yanez, and they couldn't help but to laugh. Like, you crazy, man, you. Like, you had a foot outside your door, man, and this phone right here just, it ruined your chances. And, they made me see something that I wasn't thinking at the time. They're like, hey, yes, we understand you were doing FaceTime and you were calling your family and all that, but how do we know? And how do we know that this phone wasn't already used for other illegal activities? Such as having people bringing drugs and stuff. And so they were right. And I was like, yeah, you're right there. It's like if I was partaking in criminal activity. Because I'm over here trying to hide this phone that's not allowed, that's considered contraband. So yeah, man, you don't know how hard that was for me to accept that. Man, why am I doing this? Why did I fuck this off again? So yeah, it was ugly, dog, and it's just something I still gotta live with, man. And my thinking, if I could control my thinking, I could control my write-ups. I could stay out of trouble, because a lot of it's in your thinking. You materialize your thinking, and here you go again. Get another write-up. You're like, oh, okay, well, let me try this phone again. This time I'm going to be faster. I'm only going to use it 1 week, and I'm going to get rid of it. And that's how it begins all over again. So, yeah, this time I don't care if they even want to give it to me for free. I am not going to touch one. I learned the lesson now.
No, and when you like you said, you have the tablet now. So I mean, like if that was your like concern of being able to speak to your family, now you do have that at your fingertips now. Whether you want to call or you want to video chat with them, yeah, the video chats cost a few bucks, but as far as the phone calls now, you get
Yeah,
unlimited. You can reach out and touch anybody at any time now. So
yeah,
it does come in handy,
yeah.
having those tablets with you. So
Oh, for sure, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I love it. I mean, the FaceTime, the video calls are, I mean, they're so cool, man. Like, just knowing that they're legal too, and you could really enjoy it. You could get, like me. I'm a clown. When I get on there, like last time I made a video call, and my dad's an old man, and I was like, hey, Pops, what's up, man? He's like, hey, and he's trying to look, he's trying to get real close to the screen, and I'm looking at him like, hey, what's up, guys? Because the vision's starting to fail, he's trying to understand what he's looking at on the other side of the screen, and I'm telling him it's me, Dad, Javi, and he's looking at me. He goes, oh, and he finally snaps and he goes, oh yeah, hey, what's up, amigo? And I go, hey, Dad, how healthy do you feel, man? Are you still taking care of yourself? He's like, yeah. And I told that fool, I go, hey, let me see you jump, and he jumped a little bit. I go, hey, let me see you try to run. He ran a little bit. I go, oh yeah, you're good, Dad. You're gonna hang in there. I'm almost home. He's like. So I try to like
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I try to make it feel like if I'm in there, And my sisters are like, they know I'm very I'm like my mom. Like we could just go on forever and talk and talk and talk and talk and make each other laugh and that's what it's about. So yeah, I'm so glad we got these. I'm very grateful. I mean, like there's no complaints on my part.
That's right. That's
Um,
right. And
I think
go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was
No,
gonna.
I think what were we on the last time when we were talking? Okay, so we're talking about that right after that youngster that I told you that his own cousins were trying to work him, right?
Yeah.
That's such a sad thing, man, because I constantly think about him, man, because he's as loyal of a friend that you could possibly find in prison, because everybody in here will tell you you don't have friends in prison. You cannot trust nobody. You just can't get attached to nobody because everybody will turn on you. There's a bunch of letdowns, a bunch of promises, and then a bunch of gossiping about like when you're not there, and if you do something, even though you're thinking that he's your little perrito, your little road dog or whatever. Sometimes they succumb into peer pressure themselves, and they feel that because somebody's dogging you out, talking bad about you, and he's not doing it, that he feels that he's not being part of that little crew, and they're all trying to fit in, homie. So he takes, he partakes in the part of dogging you out or talking bad about you, and so a lot of times you don't care. All right, no boy. Okay, yeah. I'll get it. I gave him. Okay. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, the homies. Hey, you already know this is a Radio Shack. They walk by, he goes, hey, I got my radio, I'm going to drop it off. Well, somebody dropped his radio this morning, and he stressed the hell out all morning. As soon as I woke up in the morning, like, hey, Javi, it sounded like he was about to tell me somebody was going to get stabbed, like all serio, He's like, hey, Javi, hey, I dropped my radio in the morning, man. Will you please take a look at it? But the way he said it scared the shit out of me at first. I'm thinking he's going to tell me, hey, Javi, watch out. On the way to child, somebody's going to get stabbed. Stay away from so-and-so and so-and-so, But nah, it was just damn radio. So right now he's coming in from yard telling me he's going to drop it off in front of my door.
Hey, Javier. Hey,
So,
I just thought about something.
Yeah.
What's up with the chili
Yeah.
lime?
Hey, homeboy, I ain't lying, dog. Yo, you wait. I'm gonna put something together, man. Like I got I told you I forgot to get my pens in store. I got the drawing paper. But I was thinking about like making like a burrito, right? Drawing a burrito rolled up, and then at the end, it'll have your little face and all.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
It'll have like it'll say chili lime James, and the burrito will have little feet and arms. What do you think?
Hey,
It'll be a chili lime burrito.
It sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I seen a homie. Hey, trip out. So I seen a homie draw a burrito one time, and he fucking hooked them up. Like he detailed the fucking lettuce, the tomatoes, the onions, and he had arms, and he put like a little beanie, little head on the burrito, and little Ben Davis pants, like turned the burrito into like pants, and I was like, what the fuck? That shit was so sick, homie. It was a little youngster from Bakersfield. And I told him, I go, damn, dog, what kind of head, what kind of mentality, I mean, what kind of thinking did he do, like, just to be able to improvise the tortilla and turn it into a pair of Levi's, And it was bad. I mean, I wish I had a picture of that.
Call us back. All right, so the call, his time was up. Yesterday he was mentioning that rumor around the prison yard is that GTL is going to be getting rid of the 15-minute limit. I don't know how true that is. So, I mean, who knows how many ears and mouths it went through before it made it to me, and how much it's changed. So, I mean, if that's something that they do end up doing, that'll highly be appreciated, just because it'll make these calls it'll make them a lot easier. And there he is.
This call is now being recorded.
You have a prepaid call from
Javier YANEZ,
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, Javier.
Yay.
Okay, so I want to
Yes,
go.
sir.
I want to go and give a shout out to everybody that's tapped in so far. So first person tapping in was Lifestyles Chronicles, followed by Angel,
Right.
and then we had Last Chance Homie. So far 3 people have tapped in already. I really appreciate it. And Angel just asked a question here. He says, is Javier paroling to the States, or is he getting deported? I got a lot of homeboys who have been there their whole lives, but since they were born in Mexico, they got deported after they paroled.
Yeah. Okay, so let me answer that one real quick. So this is going on, right? So because they got the youth offender, they did. I guess they did a major study how the brain is not fully developed, and so they figured out that a lot of us weren't really, weren't really thinking as we should have at a certain age that we committed when we committed our crime. We weren't fucking thinking about our repercussions as much as you would as a grown adult who's got a fully developed brain already. So they decided to let youth offenders, give them a second chance of getting out and being able to parole instead of just keeping them in prison their whole life. So because that changed, I'm having my lawyer look into see if when the time comes, instead of me getting deported, if I could stay, being that I qualify for a youth offender parole release. So yeah, a lot of people that are youth offenders and that were busted as a youngster, maybe the year from 20 or 21 down, because it goes all the way from 26. The youth offender people that qualify for youth offender parole hearing is from the year from 26 years and under. So my lawyer said that there is. He goes, look, it a lot of people that end up doing like 30, 31, 40 years in prison, and there were youth offenders. A lot of times when you go to the board and they put you up and you got what's it called, INS hold, and they'll only hold you for so long. And a lot of times if the INS doesn't come and pick you up, they just go ahead and let you parole right here. So that's what my lawyer is asking for, man. He's asking for these fools to kind of give me a pardon and being that I was only 20 years old when I got busted, man, to give me a second chance because my whole family's right here. But even if I do get deported, man, I got so much support in Guadalajara. I'm from Guadalajara, Jalisco, and I got like my entire like my tias, my tios, my primos. I got so much family over there because my mom bought a house over there for if that happened. So I wouldn't complain, And if I could go and take it back to like the federal court and ask for like a pardon so I could come back, I will do that, because it's not like as an adult I was over here going in and out of prison and committing all kinds of crimes. I messed up, man. I cut this. I came to prison and I never got out. So how are they going to call it a rehabilitation if they're not going to give me a chance to show them that I'm capable of living a law-abiding life out there in the streets? So I'm willing to prove them that. I'm willing to prove them wrong, that I could actually hold a job, have a family and have a job
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
and follow all their laws and whatnot, But I'm hoping they give me a break. I wrote a lot of places. I wrote a couple like there are people that speak. I forgot what they call. They're like non-profits places that have a couple of groups and churches, and so I'm doing my part, because when you want something and you feel that strong about it, you got to put in the work yourself too. You got to write letters. You got to do your little homework. So yeah, I'm hoping I get to stay. But if not, even if I do get deported, I could still from over there file for certain things. It's never over till it's over. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Another thing is a lot of times when people are in those type of situations, you obviously you get granted parole and immigration picks you up, or the feds pick you up. A lot of people are quick to sign off, and voluntarily self deport pretty much. But there's been
Yeah.
cases. I know a lot of these youngsters that have been in those same type of circumstances, they've been able to get what do you call it? They've been granted a bail from federal
Yeah,
custody
bail.
within 6 months, because after 6 months it becomes inhumane if they hold you more than 6 months without providing you bail. So the
Yes.
feds, that's how it works. They hold
Yeah.
you for 6 months, then they give you the opportunity to bail out, and then you could go ahead and
Yeah.
fight your immigration case from the streets, opposed to being in
Yeah.
in immigration hold for years. So it does make it easier, if you're granted
Right.
parole or bail, and then you're able to figure
Yeah.
out and fight your immigration status, just because
Yeah.
those type of cases take years. Like I had one of my buddies, man, it took him about
Yeah.
10 years to actually, he got picked up by ICE, and then he was out on bail, and it took almost about 10 years for his whole case
Yeah.
to finish up, and he was actually
You're
granted a
right.
yeah, he was granted a green card
Yeah.
after waiting all that time, and I was pretty surprised, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, because he did catch a lot of cases when we were
Yeah.
younger, and he had violence. So
Yeah.
he did get a huge break, and he's a green card holder now. So those things do
Yeah.
happen. Every case is different, but there's always a little
Yeah.
glimmer of hope.
Yeah, 'cause my dad, look at man, I don't want to make my dad's sacrifices in vain, man. Like he really, really pushed for. We all became legal citizens. We all got our green cards. We all did all our meetings, all the appointments we had at immigration. We were all there, So you could see this big old family of 12 going to this immigration office and putting in all the time and answering all the questions that we had to answer, and everything that they asked us to do, we did. And so at the end, we all pretty much earned, and we got our right to stay in the United States, and we all got given the green card. And every so many years, we would renew it, and everything was lovely, everything was going good. But it takes one felony, and they want to take it away from you. But being that I was a youth offender, and that's where I fall under those guidelines, and yeah, I'm not gonna give up. You're right. A lot of dudes go there, and they're lifers, and they get paroled, and they give them a release date, and of course they know they're already released, they already got a date, so they go and they sign a voluntary deportation. And when you sign a voluntary deportation, guess what? That's a wrap, because you voluntarily gave up all your future chances to.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So you cannot resubmit no kind of grievances, or say, okay, well, I didn't want to go, I just signed because I wanted to go home, and I had already spent 30 years in prison. So what? If you were willing to show how much you want to stay here, and you're willing to do another 6 more months in a federal joint, then so be it. Everybody in my family tells me, no, man, just sign. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be the one that's not going to do that. I mean, if I could do 30 years in prison, I could still do 6 more months. And so, yeah, I want to show the U.S. that, I love this country. This country is a country of opportunities, man. I was a dumb kid, and I learned that fast money ain't never good money. And it's not all money is not, how they say, all money is not good money. And I learned, and I know that I could find a righteous, a good job, in hard labor, whatever kind of labor, and provide for myself and whatever family I do manage to make when I get out. So yeah, I'm pushing for that. And all my brothers tell me, nah, man. Even my cousins are like, man, just come over here. I go, no, why can't I just make it legit and be able to go back and forth? You know? That's probably the best thing possible for me, I think, being that I lost so much of my life already in here. Why would I want to put myself get out from one prison and go into another prison? Basically that's what it is. If you parole from here and you get deported, now you're in prison in Mexico. You can't go nowhere, right? You know?
Yeah. It's rough, especially like if you stay like in a border city like Tijuana. It's
Tijuana.
definitely, yeah. It's all. I mean, you go from one prison to another prison. You're right, because as soon as you
Yeah.
land, somebody's gonna try to, they're gonna try to test you, try to take your shoes or whatever, like
Yeah.
any little
Yeah.
thing. So I've had a lot of
Yeah.
friends, they have, gotten deported, and yeah, it's bad there, and some people don't even make it out of Tijuana. So,
Oh, you know about that, huh?
oh yeah,
You know
yeah.
about that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my man, my brother, when my brother got out, there was a bunch of like fools that were acting like they were taxi drivers, but they were actual cartel recruits. They're like what they do. They snatch you up, they kidnap you, and they make you work for them for as long as they want you to, and they'll use you to do this, do all their dirty work, and then they'll discard it. They discard of you like if you're nothing, and sometimes you're lucky to live, and sometimes They're just that's how they always find like a mass grades and all that. Those are all the people that got used. So when you get off that bus and you get deported, you pretty much want to take off running and go through alleys and go through a bunch of like zigzagging and make sure nobody's following you because they know that you're gullible. They could snatch you up and they could pump some fear into you, and here you go. You're doing 30 years in prison and going back into how you started. So yeah, it's the fear of the unknown, man. I don't want to go through that shit again. So I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push for like clemency or pardon to be able to stay in the U.S. Well, wow, yeah, that was a good. Hopefully that answered that question, huh? I took it the long route. So I made that thing long, I mean. But it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's one day you're definitely gonna have to face that, and you're gonna be in this situation here that we just spoke about, and hopefully everything turns out good for you, and
I hope so.
and
Yeah.
man, yeah,
Hey, so last time.
Go ahead.
Hey, so last time, I didn't mean to interrupt you like that, but like, so I was sitting here thinking, I go, man, it's a trip how like we go from one conversation to another, and we don't mean to make it so long, but I could honestly say that a lot of it is because I get nervous, man. I don't want to sound dumb, and I don't want to like get too quiet, and then at the same time I don't want to make up shit. But the shit is real, It's like, once you get into certain subjects, man, I could take you on a long one because of stories I heard of some of my homies that paroled, and they only made it out there, and a month later they got killed. My mom tells me this. She's like, mijo, it's good. You're still alive. You ain't got out yet, but God knows when it's your turn, because when you push and you go against the grain and you're like fighting, to get out, and you're writing to everybody, and you're complaining about everything to get out, and then finally they grant you that motion to get out, and you get out, and it wasn't your time, and then look at how many people done got out and only lived a year or months and got killed, or I know people that got ran over by a bus when they're paroled. And it's sad because my tia tells me about them. She's like, yeah, there was this one friend right here that did 28 years in prison over there, and they picked him up from the airport, and he went downtown to buy a juice, and when he went across the street in the downtown area, a bus just ran him over. The bus went over his whole body, like his whole guts popped out.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And my tia was like crying for that dude because he spent his whole life in prison to get out, and this happened to him. So she's like, mijo, just wait your turn, just be patient. So I believe in that, and that's why I try to just sit here and not complain, man, and just try to find things that are gonna make me happy and push with that. Want me to read out before it hangs up on us?
Yeah.
We still got like 30 seconds.
We got about 28. Yeah. Just call me back.
28 seconds.
So
I'll make it by 2 seconds.
What do you think?
I'm going to do that right now. I thought about chili line. Órale, pues, chili line, limón. I said for the next 10 seconds, let's do chili line, limón. Este voy. I'm going to hang up right now. Here it comes.
Oh, man, Javier, he definitely cracks me up, man. Definitely don't mind speaking to him. We could talk for hours. Really great attitude, based on regardless of the circumstances that he's currently under right now. But yeah, really easy to talk to. And I told him I was gonna take numerous phone calls, to get through his journey. It's never 15 minutes is never gonna be enough, or even an hour at 2 or 3 hours, because there's just so much to cover. You if you think about it, 30 years. It's a lifetime that he has to go through.
This call is now being recorded.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Javier Yanez,
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, Javier.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so you know what? I was just thinking about something right now when the call got disconnected. So you know how you were
Yeah.
saying earlier on that, or a moment ago, that you get nervous when you're talking,
Yeah.
but you keep on talking.
I
You
do.
don't stop. So me, I have like the opposite problem. So if I get nervous, I stop talking, or I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
So I rather have your
Yeah.
problem that if you get nervous, like you just keep on going and you,
No, you don't. No, I mean, no, you don't, because you feel like me. I feel like a blabbermouth. Like, I get clowned in here. I mean, sometimes they call me la matralleta. That's the translation to that in English is the machine gun, because I'm just like, shut the hell up, Javi. Like, I get clowned all the way across the table, but I get everybody laughing, homie, and that's what makes you you. And that just takes time of us getting used to each other, homie. A lot of times when you meet, when people meet each other, the first thing is that you don't want to, in like my thinking is, I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to look dumb. I don't want to sound dumb. I don't want to be too quiet. That's going to be dumb. Is he out of words? What the hell's wrong with you? No, but no, homie. Believe me that this is going to help you and it's going to help me. So a lot of times when I stop talking, I'm doing that on purpose, because I know me and you talked on a private phone call about our little like me, I have attention ADD, and so a lot of times when I'm talking with people, I don't know when to stop, because I am so awkwardly weird when it comes to me stopping and then waiting for the other person to say, hey, if he wants to say something. I don't know when to stop, because when I stop, it seems like that. You see that little pause we just had right now?
yeah.
And that's the awkward part to me, and I'm thinking, like, should I just keep going? And no, I try to make comedy out of it, man. I just try to find some kind of humor in the whole thing. And it just takes time everybody us getting used to it, I didn't think I was ever gonna be able to do this. I'm like, hell no, that ain't me. I'm stage fright number one, I do a bunch of groups, and when they come to me, I don't say nothing, and people laugh at me, because they're like, fucking hobby, you're in the day room talking shit, clowning, you don't shut up in the fucking day room, and then when you come with groups, you don't want to say nothing. Well, because I know how much we're on spotlight and how much people are paying attention to you at that one moment when they, for example, if they go around the circle and they're asking everybody's got to say a time in their life when they hurt somebody and right away, like, instantly felt regret. So who hasn't had that happen to them, right? It's happened to me many times where I've punched my little brother, and then right after I punched him, I hugged him, and I said, I'm sorry. And I regretted it instantly. So they would go around in a circle asking everybody to tell a story of when that happened to them, and and be sincere about it. So when it came to me, I couldn't do it, because for one, it's personal. It's something that happened, like me hitting one of my little brothers and feeling regret right away. And I felt that it only belongs for me to between me and my little brother and my family. But we're doing a group, and it's like when you do NA and AA, and people don't want to admit that they're alcoholics or they're drug addicts or whatever, and you feel that that's something between you, yourself, and probably your family, But when you're bringing it out in the open for everybody to hear, you become exposed, and you feel some type of way. So it's the same way. Like when we talk, and I'm right here fucking running my mouth and talking about, but it's all real shit, man. Like, none of this shit I'm making up. I don't do this for like to even to try to make each other laugh. But sometimes I am a clown, everybody knows that's the way I am. And when I start to feel the pressure and I start to feel weird, my go-to is trying to say something funny. So it kind of turns it into like a little icebreaker, and it kind of relaxes you a little bit. You feel good. Like a lot of times when you feel that little pressure, and like when I stop talking, and then I leave it to you for you to say something, and it takes you a while. And I already know because you told me that's how you were. But yeah, we're both a work in progress, man. And I guarantee you that that's gonna go away in time. What
And
do
I
you
hope,
think?
and that's one of the reasons that it took me so long to start, this podcast, because I've been having this vision and idea in my head for the last 3 years, as far as
Yeah,
starting a channel, dealing with incarceration and sharing the stories of those that easily wouldn't have access to something like this. So finally,
yeah,
everything. Well, también, everything kind of, fell into place, with my buddy over there, my good friend, ending up on that
yeah,
yard.
yeah,
So,
man.
if it wasn't for that, then
And he's smart.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's smart. He pays attention, bro. He look it. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm pretty sure. Look it. I was giving a couple of the names that do the podcast, and I don't know how private you like to keep it. I don't know if it's out in the open for people to know. But hey, it turns out that a lot of these dudes, if it's the same individual, I'm super friends with these dudes. Like when I hit them in the yard, I mean, we give each other a hug. Hey, what's up, my boy? And like we're like 100%. Like we're righteously real with one another. So he couldn't have picked like the better people in that. So that's why sometimes when I see a certain individual and I feel that he's a good candidate for Astoria, I go and I tell the presidente, hey homie, what's up with the homie right here? And he looks at me like, I'll check it out. Like he looks at me with like a little nod in his, like a little smirk in his face, like that's right. You better come check with me, fool. So, yeah, I look at him like, shut up, fool. Like humble yourself. I always tell him, humble yourself.
Hey, he's still
No, but
he's still high power right
yeah,
now.
man.
He's still in the high power mode.
Yeah, like I'm doing this shit, homie. But yeah, man, I'll never forget the day, man. I don't know if he told you, but the day that he hit me up, like we were right there, we were ironing clothes, right? And we just got to talking, and he asked me, he goes, hey, Javi, hey, hey, so that's fucked up, fool. Like you're doing a life sentence, and you didn't even do this crime. I said, yeah. He goes, man, a lot of dudes rather say they did it so they could walk around here all hard. Like, look at this big old fucking hardcore killer. He out there, he cartel and all that. I go, yeah, homie, but you know what? At the same time, I feel that even though I didn't do this one crime, that I got away with other shit that I did. So I'm not even complaining as far as doing time, but I am complaining.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Hey,
But
Javier.
I do complain. Yeah.
Hey, I gotta jump in quick right now. So I got a message
It's
right now
okay.
from Last Chance Homie. And he puts, Javi, uh, let
Hmm.
me see. Put don't do them pauses and silence for a second. I thought you got whacked. Oh, come on. You see you can't be you can't be silent too long. All right, people be getting worried.
Hey, you know why he said that, right? Okay, so remember how I tell you, when somebody's gonna get whacked or something's gonna happen, is when the yard goes from being like you hear the white noise, you hear everybody like yelling, playing basketball, you hear the basketball bouncing, you hear the handball hitting the wall, and everybody's clowning each other. And then boom, it gets real quiet. Oh, somebody's gonna get hit. So yeah, I cut that joke, man. That falls along. I really it really is like that in here, man. Like, there ain't never been a time where somebody got whacked and it was all right. The whole program was running smooth, and then boom, it happened. Nah, homie, there's a certain kind of feeling that happens in a certain kind of peace before the storm, homie. It's just like it gets real quiet, and then boom, and then you hear the alarm, and then you hear all the hurrahs running, and then they're yelling to get down, and everybody's trying to find a spot to get down where there's no mud or there's no dirt. So me, I always take me a little toalla or extra shirt and I throw it on where I'm at. Because a lot of times these cops will fucking get mad if you're running and still running around when they told you to get down. So they're gonna go toss you up too. But yeah, man, that's a good one right there. What was Homeboy's name again?
Last
Is that
Chance
Angel
Homie.
or who?
Last Chance
That
Homie.
Chance Homie?
Yeah.
That's a cool handle, huh?
Yeah. It
I
sounds
like that
really
handle.
sounds really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I gotta make me a handle. What do you think? I think we gotta get a little handle for me. I've
like
always been Javi my whole entire life, homie. My
gr-
whole life. I never had a nickname. I never had a placazo. And I think I mentioned
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
in the very beginning of the podcast, I believe, do you remember if I mentioned why I never accepted a nickname?
Nah, I never
You
knew that.
remember?
Also, we're calling you your nickname then. Javi is your real name and your nickname?
That's my real and my nickname, my
That's
boy.
what I'm
Like, I
saying. That's
never
what
in
I'm
my
saying.
life.
No, you never told
Yeah.
us. You never told us
So
that you didn't have a nickname. That's
okay,
unheard of.
so real quick, let me hit you with my philosophy on that, my beliefs on that, right? So look, I've always been a mama's boy, homie. Like I love my mom, like I love her. Like everywhere I went, I was like, man, I hope you know what? I was hoping they'd send you a family picture so you could see how many kids my mom had. It would trip you out. Like we're all in one picture, and all the family pictures they would have to entice me or pay me to get into the family picture because I was always that kid that was scared of cameras. I didn't like taking pictures. So I'm always right next to my mom. So my belief in the nickname thing is that my mom gave me this name, man. You know, I was not only that, on top of all the whole thing, I was born on Mother's Day. I was born on Mexican Mother's Day. I was born on May 10th, 1972. So I was like my gift to my mom, and she named me. She gave me a name, you know. So I would see, at one time I seen my mom, they came and knocked on the door and they were asking for my brother Memo, you know, because those are cool nicknames. The nicknames that we give each other is the little kids are the ones that come out with the nicknames. You know, they can't pronounce, like for example, Guillermo. A little baby cannot pronounce the whole word Guillermo, so he would say, the little baby would say Memo. Or Salvador, little baby can't say the whole, so they would say Chava. Or Ignacio, little baby could only say Ignacio. So those nicknames are allowed within the little family, you know, the immediate family thing. But when somebody comes knocking on your door, right, and they're asking for Trippy, so somebody came and knocked on my mom's door, and I was in the living room, and my mom opened the door, and they're like, hey, señora, ¿se encuentra Trippy? And my mom like, who the hell's Trippy? And she's looking at me, hey, ¿quién es Trippy? I go, aquí no vive ni un Trippy, I don't know chava. Well, here comes my brother, rest in peace, my brother Memo, he's running from the back. He goes, oh, that's me, Mom. I'm like, why the hell are they calling you Trippy? You know, ¿por qué te dicen Trippy? So I guess he explained to my mom, well, because that's my gang, that's what my little group, they like to call me, Mom. And my mom got butthurt, man. My mom was like, that. I remember that whole day. My mom, you know, she's a very sentimental person. Like she's very, she cries about everything. And she started crying, like not crying like sobbing, but you could see the tears coming down. I was like, man, what's wrong, Mom? He goes, I gave you guys names. You know, why are you letting other people change your guys' names? So I never forgot that. So every time growing up in the hood, when I got jumped into the neighborhood, they would try to call me Cisco, and that falls under my name too, because my first name is Francisco Javier, but I always went by Javi or Javier. But people would try to change my name, you know, and I would always say no. You know, they try to call me que sleepy, que happy, que whatever. I never accepted a nickname, never. Always kept my real name. So yeah, that's been my whole entire life. I've always gone by the same name that my mom gave me. So that's my belief on that. That's how I feel about like nicknames. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Does it make sense to you guys?
Yeah, no, yeah, you got it. Hey, if you're able to get away with not getting a what is it, a street name or a handle or a nickname, more
Yeah.
power to you. But
Yeah.
hey, that's about to change. 30 years in, you're gonna get.
Hey, you know. So they call it what is it? What's another word for a nickname? A moniker?
Moniker,
A
yeah,
moniker?
yeah, moniker.
Moniker. Okay, so you know how many times like, okay, so I ran into people that give themselves their own nickname. There's a vato in here.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
He decided to, once he became on this side, once he locked it up, he decided to change his name. And I know him, he's from El Salvador, right? I know him by Curly. And he decides to change his name from Curly to Main. So one day I run into him in Tehachapi. I
Hey,
go,
what did he change his name to?
Main.
Main.
Main. M-A-I-N. Main.
Chingueros, ¿qué es eso?
And that's on his fucking birth certificate, bro. He showed me. So he goes, hey fool, come here. He called me to the side, right? He goes, hey, my boy, hey, don't call me Curly. I'm like, what the fuck did you do? Why not? You know, I know you. I know you by Curly for the longest. He's like, nah, my boy, I'm going by my real name. I go, what's your real name? So I never.
So the I forgot the 60 seconds where she had announced it, and the call was cut off. So he should be calling us back shortly, and we'll go ahead and continue with the story about this gentleman that changed his name from Curly to, I think he said Mayin. If I didn't hear him incorrectly, or misinterpret his name there, and he'll go ahead and continue with the story about nicknames and whatnot. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to this conversation. Like I said before, Javier, he's really easy, to speak to. Always in a good mood, and is always cracking jokes and whatnot. So here we go.
This call is now being
This
recorded.
is Global Tel-Link. You have a prepaid call from
Javier Yanez.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel-Link.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you're talking about Mayin.
Yeah, so my homie, so it was really obvious. So what you know, so when I told him, shit, that's not your name, fool. You making shit up. Nah, what you know, that fool he used to carry a little wallet on him. I guess because he was getting asked that question a lot, and it showed he had his little birth certificate where he was born, and his maiden name and his real last name, and that was his first name, homie. Mayin Ephraim, something like that. But his first name was Mayin. I'm like, that's odd, homie. Never in my life have I ever heard that name, Mayin. So,
Hey, right,
had the
right now,
Moreno.
and right now that you're talking about
Yeah.
names, you know that Dominicans
Uh-huh.
and Cubans sometimes they be having some way out names. Like I seen some Dominican
Yeah.
IDs. Like there's this one dude que le
Uh-huh.
ponieron 007, pero they spelled out 007 James Bond.
No,
No,
are
I'm gonna
you
look.
real?
You
Are you
know,
for real?
for reals. I'm gonna look it up. I have a picture of it, and there's another one called
Wow.
Disneylandia and Merry Christmas, and I'm gonna ask my lady right now because she
No.
remembers all these names. We're always cracking jokes about that. But yeah,
Oh.
no, Cubans and
What the
Dominicans,
fuck?
they be doing stuff like that. They be naming their or Happy New Year. Uh,
Yeah.
I wish I was
Hey,
joking, but
hey,
no, it's
hey.
true.
I believe that. Hey, look it, man. I just want to know, why is it like a lot of fools that are born like in Central America and from El Salvador and Guatemala, you notice they all give themselves like American names. Que Jonathan, que Edgar, and so I trip. I like, man, like that. If you was to see that name on a roster, on a list, or say let's say a package list, and you're going along the line, you're trying to get all the raza first, and you're trying to make a list and get all the raza first, you would never think, Edgar Smith was raza or from El Salvador or from Guatemala. So a lot of these dudes I ran into like narcissist. Like, do they even know what the word narcissist means? So I ran into a narcissist that was born in Phoenix from Guatemala, and his real name was Narcissus. Ain't that some crazy shit?
Hey, right. Hey,
What are your parents
hey,
thinking?
shots fired. Shots fired. Because my lady, she's probably gonna get offended with that right there. Because she does. Her and her brothers, they got straight Gava names. Uh, hey, don't be
That's
surprised.
all
Hey,
bad.
don't be surprised.
Yeah,
Hey, but so Trip out, I'm gonna tell you
yeah,
something, or I'm gonna
yeah,
share the story as far as
yeah.
because my lady, she's from El Salvador, and
Okay.
so her jefa, she
Yeah,
she came in like in the early in the early either I think like the early 80s or right at the end of the
yeah,
70s. So she used to clean houses,
yeah.
all right, and
Uh-huh.
and it was a bunch like rich white people that she used to work for. So when she was pregnant,
Yeah.
her employer told her, hey, like this is what you should name your son. This is what you should name your daughter. So
Oh.
she gave him straight Gaba names, straight. So I remember this
Oh.
one time, man. I'm not gonna say her name because it's not a common name for Hispanic people.
Yeah,
But we went to
it's
we were
okay.
traveling.
Yeah.
We were in Panama, and we
Uh-huh.
were like in this office, and they were trying to pronounce her name, and they were like, the lady couldn't even pronounce her name, and then I look at my lady, and we start laughing. We start laughing like,
Oh my God, that's something. Yeah. Hey, what happened? It cut off?
nah.
Hey.
My daughter came. She's asked me to cut something, so I muted the mic. But but yeah, no, no.
Oh,
So
it's okay. It's okay.
that's the reason behind the names. As far as for my lady,
Yeah.
because that,
Yeah, yeah,
they
no.
were they didn't want to use like the typical, Hispanic names, if you will, because
Yeah,
it's
no. Yeah,
easier
it makes sense though.
to assimilate, into
I
into
think
into
not only
American
that,
culture.
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. No, but look it. I had so many cellies from El Salvador, and for some reason, I just love their little swag.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I love the way they talk, man. Like Colombian people, people from El Salvador, they got a way of talking, man, to make the conversation so interesting and so funny, and the little word, the little cuss words, how they say, hijo de la gran puta, like, and all this shit. And I'm like, man, I like this shit. So a lot of my cellies, I will pick them, like, man, because my sister's married to a Salvadorian too, so we got that in our family. We got that kind of that mixed ratio. So they ended up getting that little some kind of lingo of talking. So my whole entire life, I spend a lot of time from people from Central America, and man, I really do dig their swag. And yeah, a lot of them have these names like you would never expect for them. Once they told you their name, like what the hell, serio? Your name is fucking. I ran into one que se llamaba Todd. Que Todd, ¿cómo que Todd? Y yo le daba un chingo de carrilla. ¿Qué onda, pinche Todd, hijo de la gran puta? Me dice, voy a escribir un carrilla. Like, ¿cuál pinche Todd? Me queda la verga, güey.
Hey,
And
that's
that's what
that
was
day
so
that one.
funny
Yeah,
about it.
I would have changed my name legally if they would have named me Todd. That would have been out. I
Yeah.
would have changed it. I would have got
Su mamá
emancipated.
Oh, no, no. How about Leroy? And Leroy. My
Hey,
homeboy Leroy,
hey,
he's
I'll take
from
Leroy.
MS.
I'll
He's from
take I'll take Leroy any day over
uh-huh.
Todd.
Over Todd, yeah. So the homie se llamaba Todd, and he bet, and I bet him. I put money on the table that he was bullshitting. I go, you lying, homie? Let me see that shit. And he showed me. And his first name was Todd. His middle name was like fuck, I forgot what it was. It was another weird ass name. But yeah, and he told me that all his brothers, like they would sit there, like his little nephews, and that they gather up and they all look through like names from over here. They want to give their kids names from over here. That in a way it was also a way for like good luck, so they could have a better life, instead of naming them que Carlos, que Javier, que Pedro, que Juan, the regular typical Hispanic name. They didn't want to give their kids that kind of name because they wanted them to have a good life or make life easier on them with having a name from over here. So a lot of them have that same belief, man, that what you name your kids is how they're gonna turn out. It's a trip. And have you ever heard that before? The name really does matter.
Yeah, hey, as long as they name me Wayne as my middle name, I'm good because Wayne is a no, and this is real talk. Like a lot of serial
Yeah,
killers, they got the middle name Wayne for
yeah,
whatever reason. I don't know what it
yeah.
does to these kids, but yeah, don't name your kid. Don't use Wayne as a middle name
Wayne,
because it's gonna turn out bad.
yeah. It's some kind of like unhidden power or something. But yeah, what a trip, man. Like, now that we're on the name thing, right? So I went on the tablet. The tablet has a law library for us inside of it, right? And I punched in, so you go and you can look up any case you want to see, anybody's case in here. So I typed in my name, and it tripped me out because I never thought there would be so many Javier Yanez's on there. I was like, what the fuck? It's not a common name. When have you ever ran into a Yanez in your life? Have you ever run into a Yanez?
Yep, I have. My lady's jefa.
Oh,
Her second last name is well. The way I pronounce it is Yanez. So the way you pronounce it kind of threw me off. but I mean, I'm probably
Yeah,
not
'cause
pronouncing it right. Yeah.
mine's got the little wiggle on top of the end, which is called the ñ. We got Mexicanos. We got two extra letters in the alphabet. We got the ñ and we got the ella. That's the double L.
Yeah.
So mine is pronounced with a little wiggle on top of the end, so it's pronounced YANEZ. Like Munoz, YANEZ. So yeah, so there's a bunch of YANEZ without the little wiggle on top of the end,
The accent.
and
It's
it's
called the
pronounced
accent. Yeah.
YANEZ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so right here, así me llaman a mí. So when they call me, they say YANEZ. So I mean I got so used to it that I don't even on my back I got a big tattoo with my last name, and it says YANEZ because they don't have the wiggle on top. Because going to medical and going to the hospital when we first drove up, the doctors couldn't pronounce her name. They would say YANEZ. I've got YANEZ before. YANEZ. Hey, YANEZ. I'm like, what the fuck? How the hell do you get YANEZ from YANEZ, man? Or YANZI or
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So yeah, in time it kind of grew on us, and we accepted YANEZ. We're like, okay, mom, let's just let them call us YANEZ. I guess we're YANEZ. But yeah, but in like on paperwork with YANEZ, and we got so used to it being called YANEZ now, so that whatever now, I guess we just had to accept it over here. But yeah, I didn't realize there was that many and trip out. So you punch in your name on it, and it had my in-house cases when I caught the 9 years in Lancaster, and then it's got my original case, and it's flat out in the open for everybody to read. And I used to think like, wait a minute, okay. So every time I go to board and I ask to see my C file, so when they ask me questions about my case and my write-ups, I'll be able to answer and make sure that I don't how can I say, I don't get caught in a lie or I don't switch the story up, and make sure that everything that I say is still the way I say it and it's on paper and it matches. So I'll be requesting certain kind of paperwork, and they tell me that it's considered confidential information. And I'm like, wait a minute, but why is it that if I punch it into my tablet, it goes ahead and gives me everything that I've been asking for that they don't want to give me? So I don't know if if it's on a fluke and if it's an accident, but nah, it's right there out in the open. And yeah, so I got a chance to. I even see my prima's cases. I've seen all my tios. I didn't know my tios were like that heavy into the drug world. I didn't know my tias were involved. I didn't know it seems like the only one that did not do it was my dad, but all his brothers were like heavy hitters, homie, and I seen it and I tell it. So now when I call my prima and I call my tias, I tell them, hey tia, why the hell you guys didn't tell me about such and such deal? They're like, well, how do you know about it? I'm like, because I typed down their name and my name, and it popped out under my name. I go, yeah, I guess like every time you type down your name, it gives you your whole family history and anybody that got busted under that last name. And that shit was crazy. I used to think that my name was not a common name.
Hey, let me ask
And
you.
wow,
So,
it was like 10,000 people.
can you look up
Yeah.
anybody, or is it just specifically to
Anybody,
Georgia?
homeboy.
So anybody that's been to the
Anybody, okay.
CDCR, you could look up their information on the
Anybody
tablet.
that I could see your So look at and it's crazy. So it'll tell you what you're busted for. It'll tell you your crime. It'll have your police report, what they claim that happened. So it's a little trip. It's crazy because there was this one dude in here. He's an Arab Chaldean, right? He's from Middle East, from Baghdad, back east. And I know his cousins. I know his girl cousins, his boy cousins, his dad, his uncles, right? So I grew up with a bunch of Arabs. I righteously do speak a little bit of Arabic and a little bit of Chaldean. And so I punched in his name too, and I used to kick it with him in the yard. And boom, the first thing that popped out was that he was busted for like 5 charges of rape, and what he was doing, he was going to a trolley stop, and he was waiting for girls to get off the trolley, and he would offer them a ride. and he would try to force them to give them oral. I guess they call it oral copulation or something like that, to give them a blowjob or whatever. And if they didn't, if they didn't do it, that fool would beat them up. So on one occasion, he hit a girl with a crowbar, homie, and busted her head open. And here's this dude going to church. He runs the Catholic services and all that. So now when I go, I feel some kind of type of way. Like, man, this fucking cold-hearted dude. Like now, all of a sudden you come to prison and you want to walk around with a Bible in your hand and all that. And it makes things awkward.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Hey, let me ask you.
In a way, it's good that we know.
Let me ask you, and for people like that dude, like, so I'm assuming after you figured out, what he was there for, how does everybody end up treating him after everybody finds out what he's there for?
Oh, everybody cut him loose. Look at okay. When you come on this side, they still have gangs, right? They got four names for these gangs, right?
Yeah.
And these dudes are the ones that are supposed to do cleanup crew. They're supposed to, whenever there's a child molester or rapist, they're supposed to get them out the yard. First, they're supposed to book them. They're supposed to blast them, try to kill them. That's their little law. Their little bylaw is get all the child molesters, get all the rapists. But right here, there's only like very little. There's only maybe like 20 STG gang members from these little X and Y gangs. So they're not trying to get in trouble, Most of the cleanup crew is
it's about to cut off. All right, so so this call just it just got interesting right now. First time I ever hear about anybody trying to or anybody having access to it. Everybody's pretty much their rap sheets from these tablets. It seems like he said that it might be a fluke. So hopefully CDCR is not listening to this, because they might be patching that up real soon. And it would be something easy, for them to do. So, or maybe they did it on purpose. Who knows? With the way the CDCR is going right now, and all the changes that they're making, and I think they call it the Norway Project, where they're trying to, try to be counselors instead of correctional officers. Should be interesting to see, where the CDC is going to be in the next 10, 20 years, because it definitely is wild out there. I've seen some of those videos where they go to like yes.
This call is now being recorded.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Javier Yanez,
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just talking right now to the listeners, and I was telling them that I don't know. I mean, is it a fluke or is it something intentional? Because you know how the CDC, they're going through some changes right now, and
I think it's intentional.
Yeah.
I think it's intentional. And let me tell you why. Okay, the whole judicial system for California is being remade, like they starting from scratch, homie. So now they're not gonna have like PC yards. They're not gonna have they're not gonna protect you no more. Now, if you come to prison, you gotta fucking figure out a way. If you're getting busted for some fucking grimy ass shit, and for raping people or molesting little kids, then you gotta live up. You gotta live with that. If you go into prison, they're no longer gonna cater. They're not gonna cater to you and protect you and none of that. Like most prisons in the prisons in Florida. When you go to Florida, no matter what you busted for, homie, they put you with everybody. So if you're busted with a rape, hey, you gotta figure out how to survive in there. They put you in there, homie, and if you get hurt, you get hurt. Of course, once they get to stabbing you, they're gonna run and they're gonna try to save your life and all that. But that's what you brought that upon yourself. So what California is doing now, like they're no longer gonna have designated yards. They're called non-designated yards. They're gonna put everybody together. So they're starting little by little. Right now it's up to I think on a level 2. So when you go to a level 2, you're in there with actives and non-actives. You're in there together, and if you want to go home, both parties want to go home, the active and the non-active, then you're going to find a way to coexist with each other and get along and do the groups, do your homework, do what you got to do to get out. And man, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with that. Why not? I feel that that's when you get out in the streets, there's no such thing. They don't separate you by your crime or whatever, or you're out there and that pretty much prepares you for how it's going to be outside. So yeah, I don't think it was a fluke. I think they pretty much gave us the whole law library. Any case you want to look up, it's right here on the tablet. Because I don't hardly see nobody going to law library no more. Before, you have to sign up and you go in there and you ask for books, and nobody would do it. So now you could just look up any case. If you get even the write-ups, if you get write-ups, you could learn how to fight your own write-up and appeal it through the tablet. It's just a little more time consuming because a lot of us don't know how to navigate we don't know what nothing means. Like, there's so many things in there. It says filter, narrow by, and dates and all kinds of things. And I don't know. I still don't know how to work it, but I'm pretty sure in time I'll get used to it. So no, I don't think it was a fluke.
Let me ask you. So right now, you're talking about the non-designated, where they're just throwing everybody in. So you know what?
Yeah.
I think, and this is just my opinion. I don't know if
This
is
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
it's easier
Yeah.
for them to be integrated on the level ones or the camps and level ones, level twos. It's easier, because a lot of those people,
Yeah.
they don't. I would say a large majority of them, they have a date. They're eventually, gonna come home. But now when you get up to the level threes and
Yeah.
the level fours,
Yeah.
those, and especially from the mainline, and I mean, you've been to the mainline. I don't think the people on the mainline are that's going to be something that they're going to want to accept at those levels. It would be a lot harder, and
Yeah. They're
and
not
and
gonna win though.
yeah, no, yeah, but then
Yeah.
people
I
end up
get.
getting hurt, So
Yeah.
if there's two sets of group of people, and the CDC knows that these people don't get along, and people are gonna end up getting hurt, maimed, or possibly losing their lives, it wouldn't be.
Mhm.
I mean, I would say it wouldn't be fair, but then there would be those that would say, well, I mean, you knew what you signed up for, so why, why should these
Exactly.
two groups be be separated? I don't know, like,
Yeah.
fortunately for me, I didn't go to prison, so I don't have to deal with that, and
Beautiful thing. Beautiful
but
thing.
but it sucks,
Beautiful
I
thing. You
could
don't
I
know
could,
we. Yeah, you don't know how much we look up to you, and how much we wish we had your lifestyle, your choices, your life, the life you got. Because yeah, when you're running amok and you're doing your little thing, a lot of it has to do with fucking, you're trying to stand out, you're trying to be somebody, you're trying to be that guy. You want everybody to see your ride, you want everybody to see how much money you got, how much gold you got, and the girls you riding on the car or whatever, right? But on the downside, when you fall off, this is what you get: a little ass fucking cell, living inside a bathroom with a toilet, a little room with a little toilet, and for 30 years, it's not worth it. So yeah, your crime. If you want to be out there fucking, raping girls or getting away with all the shit, all the faulty, grimy ass shit, then you gotta pay. That's the law of the land, homie. I believe in karma, and I believe that God works in mysterious ways, and He lets that happen. So this dude now, nobody talks to him. Nobody wants to sit with him at the table. No, the church goers went from like 30, 35 people to only like 15. Last time I went, there was only 12 of us in there, and it was so awkward because he works in the chapel and he's walking around carrying all the stuff to the priest. The hostia, the bread they give you at the end after the service is over, and everybody walks around and can put that little bread in your mouth, and he carries that, And I see that, and I don't know how to tell this dude, like, hey, don't touch my shit, But I just got to turn a blind eye, man, and I don't want to get in trouble, and I let God, be the judge. When his time is up, that he's got to answer up to God. But yeah, it's awkward. Those things are so awkward on me. Once we find out who's who and who's busted for what, that's like the weirdest feeling in here. How do you go? How do you go from liking somebody and then finding out the truth, what they're busted for, to how do you step back from that? It's just hard.
And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, like, why didn't you go, handle that? Why didn't you take the trash out? And I would,
Yeah.
and my answer to that would be, shit. If I'm trying to go home, like you know what, I'm not, like, yeah, it sucks what they did, but
Mhm.
I mean, they're already being punished. They're
Yeah.
doing out their sentence, and like you said, I mean, there's
Yeah.
these SCG groups that claim to to clean up house. So that's what they signed up for.
That's what
Then
they're supposed to do. It.
yeah,
Yeah. That's when you sign up for SMY gang. That's what you sign up for. You agree to that, to those bylaws that you're supposed to clean up the house. Anytime there's a trauma that's a rapist, you're supposed to take care of them or whatever, right? So, when I was active, I did a bunch of that, and I remember I told you that, like, anytime there was a trauma molester, especially a trauma molester, I didn't really have no feelings. I was going to whoop the shit out this fool. If he was just to get touched and he was not to get stabbed, because then he wants the yard of it, but sometimes the captain would tell him, hey, look, don't stab this dude because, Sacramento is saying there's been too many stabbings in this prison. Don't make me look bad. Just beat the shit out this fool. So we went out there and beat the shit out this fool, And he got lucky, He was getting beat the hell up. His whole face was caved in and all. And he could consider that he got lucky because he didn't get stabbed. So there were times, man, that, I wouldn't have feelings for people like that because I got little brothers, I got little sisters, and the same thing for the rapists. I wouldn't want nobody waiting for my little sister to get off the trolley, and then she's walking home, and this dude fucking snatches her up and fucking makes her give him a blowjob, or and then hits her with the crowbar. Fuck no, So it's hard. Those are things are so hard to accept in here, because if you got family and you love your sisters and your mom, of course you're gonna feel some type of way because you're not like that, and you know better, And a lot of these dudes, they go straight to God. They get a Bible and they're walking around the yard with the Bible in their hand, and it's so obvious, Like, so a lot of times, when you see somebody that's always walking around with the Bible, and you can't be quick to judge because some of these dudes are sincere, they're busted for righteous, for a regular hit and run or a manslaughter, and they were drunk and they ran somebody over or whatever. And, so you still got the righteous ones that are righteously doing it for legit reasons. They're going to church, they're trying to ask for forgiveness, and they really did have a different kind of, they're trying to be good. They're trying to ask for, hoping God forgives him for killing and for taking lives because he was driving while he was intoxicated. And then you got the ones that they were out there just raping girls and they come to prison and they're scared, so they're thinking that if they go to church and they walk with the Bible, we're not going to do nothing to them. But nah, man, they still get it. And I already did my part when I was active, and I'm on this side now, so all I do is just give them their fucking, I'll stay away from them. I know not to go around them, and I mind my business, and as long as they're not eating at the same table with me and they're not kicking it with me, I try not to let it bug me. But yeah, sooner or later they'll get it for sure.
Hey, so I got a question for you. Let me play a scenario for you here.
Yeah.
That dude, that you were just talking about earlier on, he comes to your door and he wants to split a honey bun with you. What do you do?
You know what I would do, homie? I would take that honey bun, right? Make sure that all seals that it ain't got no broken seals, and I would tell him gracias, and then I would tell him I'll get it back to you tomorrow, homie, and then I'll just avoid him. Never give him his shit back. He'll get burnt. He'll get burnt for a honey bun, homie. Hey, you know how many people already got? Hey, let me tell you. You know how many people already got this dude? Like, they went and borrowed all kinds of shit. They borrowed creamers, coffees, because he runs a little store. He does 2 for 1s. Like, 2 for 1 is like this. you go, you say you run out of coffee. A jar of coffee costs $9, right? And you go up to him and you tell him, hey man, I want a 2-for-1 on a jar of coffee. So he busts out his little book.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
He puts your name, and then he puts 1 jar of coffee or 2. So when you go to the store, you got to give him back 2 jars. So he's probably owed at least a good 15 jars that he's not going to get back. And he's in for a surprise, when this month is over, because we found out about him in the beginning of this month. So throughout this whole time, he's still running his little canteen. And he's in for a surprise because he's gonna find out that nobody's paying him. So what is he gonna do? He's not gonna want to fight over jars of coffee, but he's gonna start to think, and he's not gonna have no choice but to think. Oh shit! They found out about me. What do I do now?
Hey, what about if he gets a crowbar, Javier?
Good luck, motherfucker. You ain't getting no crowbar right here.
Hey, he's gonna jump in his ramfla. He's gonna jump in his ramfla.
I'll be like, you
get a
ain't taking
crowbar.
this. I take over. You ain't taking this motherfucking booty, boy. He's out there taking booty, He's like, come here, bitch. He's like a cave. Back in the caveman days, I used to grab the girl by the hair and drag them and shit and bone them. Like, man, that's what. Hey, man, it's ugly, bro. On one of his victims, the only reason he let her go was because she started yelling, "Help, Jehovah! Help, Jehovah!" And so that fool had like a change of heart, and he let her go. And that's the girl that helped convict him. So when he started his trial, she was right to telling the jurors, like, yeah, this motherfucker's vicious. And he wanted to take my shit by all means, He was hurting me. And, that's the only reason he let me go is because I started yelling Jehovah. But yeah, and it's all under. It's a trip. Like, you would never expect to see the whole story about, well, it's not the whole entire story. It's like part of the police report.
Yeah.
So they give you like a quick little rundown of what he got busted for and what he did. And I don't think it's a fluke. That's out there for everybody to know. And so
You have 60 seconds remaining.
hey, everybody. I feel sorry for you if you got a fucked up castle, But
Sorry,
yeah,
no
it's
tortilla.
Sorry, no tortilla, huh? Hey, so every so often I walk by and he lives right on the stairs where we go upstairs on the way from breakfast. And I go, Jehovah, help! And it's right by his cell, and I know it's ringing a bell. He's like, this motherfucker, why is he always saying Jehovah, help? I'm pretty sure he heard that shit in his case, in his trial, and he knows, and he's got a hint that I know, Why would I be saying that? So I get everybody laughing. They're like, fucking Javi, you crazy as hell.
Hey,
I go,
Javier.
you guys too, man, motherfucking. Yeah.
Hey, call us back. I got some questions for. I got
Okay.
2 questions for you right here from
Okay.
Last Chance Homie. So
All
we're
right.
gonna go ahead and definitely
I
ask
will.
those questions right now. All right. So I just read your questions right now. I'll go ahead and ask him right now as soon as he gets back on. Yeah, those are some good questions. You want to figure out or find out, where does this person go next, or I don't know. Like, I think there's like another, like, maybe he would end up. Well, it depends on how 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 big his case was, because I know like dudes like Phil Spector and anybody that's famous, they don't end up, they end up in PC, but they end up like at another, I guess the PC within the PC. If that makes any sense.
This call is now being recorded.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Javier Yanez.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, Javier, thank you for calling back. So right now, this is gonna be our last call right now. After the 15 minutes is up, then we could continue tomorrow. I'll be off tomorrow. Unfortunately, I gotta go back to work today. But Last Chance Homie, he's asking 2 questions here. So the first one would be, where does he go? Where does he go next? And he's talking about this gentleman that or I guess should the scum of the earth. I should be
Um,
calling him. Where does he go next? And if he locked it up, like where else? Like where would he go? Is there like a PC within a PC?
the only PC within the PC is for fake people of like high profile famous people.
Yeah,
You know, like
like Phil
when
Spector.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
Yeah, when I was exactly.
yeah,
So they got only one prison that I know of, and it's Corcoran. They got two buildings in Corcoran, and it's in the shoe,
yeah,
and they got their own little world. He's not gonna get that.
yeah,
He's got to be a famous person for that. So there's nowhere else for him to go, homie. And even if, like, say he wants to go live in the hole, because you could be in the hole, you're safe in the hole,
yeah,
because you got the little cage yard.
yeah,
So when you go to yard, you go to yard in a little cage. Well, they can't keep you in the hole for no time. So he would have to keep getting in trouble to stay in the hole. So a lot of people that in his situation, that's what they do. They end up spending and living the rest of their time in the hole, because that's the only place they're safe. So yeah, the only place for them to go is the hole. They don't no longer cater to dudes that got those kind of crimes. They don't protect them no more.
yeah.
They're actual for you, you know.
Yeah, no. They should be definitely be catching the blues in my eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my boy, like, oh man, the thought of them fucking doing something to like my little sisters, my little brothers, and shit like that. Oh my man, bro, it's a certain kind of feeling, and that's where these cops, they kind of like, when you're active, they like that about a prisoner. They know that, yeah, we were out there, selling drugs, and a lot of times you're out there gang banging and you just killed another gang member. You're not out there killing innocent people and just random people. We're not being randomly selecting people and just taking them out. We're getting at people that are in the same game. Like me, for instance, I was a drug dealer, so I killed another drug dealer. You stopped working. Okay, yeah. I'll be here right there. Okay. Yeah, so in my case, like, there was one drug dealer to another drug dealer, and that's a common thing. When the drug deal goes bad, sometimes people end up getting killed. But I didn't go out and it's not like some innocent bystander got killed or somebody that was not in the game got killed. So yeah, now when you go out of the norm and you go out there and you decide that the only way for you to get knock your little socks off is by fucking going out there and raping people or molesting little kids, then there's a price you got to pay when you come here. And that's what it is, It's awkwardness, it's fear, it's getting stabbed, getting jumped on, and that's the law of the land. It's an unwritten rule, but that's how it works. That's what you get, you know what I mean? God, sometimes, but oh well.
yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess it's either you gotta
Yeah.
deal with the politics on the main line, or you gotta deal with with this on the other side. So I guess either way,
There you go.
you're not it's a lose-lose
There you
situation all the
go.
way
You
around.
understand? Yeah. So when you come on this side first, you feel the embarrassment, the letdown. Like, man, you let everybody down. What is my family gonna think? What's my brother gonna think? Especially if all your brothers and all your uncles are in the game. Like in my case, I didn't know my uncles were that deep in the game until I came on this side. And so what helped me feel better about it was, like, I didn't take nobody down with me, homie. So no one could ever come on this side and say, yeah, fool, they want you bad, What I do? Nothing. I didn't want to fucking whack my celly. I didn't feel it was the right pegada, and I didn't want to deal with the repercussions, so I told on myself. I gave up all the weapons I had on my wall, and then not only when I locked it up, I still had to do a little shoe turn for the weapons. So that's the only damage I caused, But there's some fools that fucking end up giving up the whole cha-cha, They go and they tell the cops and they go tell on everybody. The next thing you know, there's a whole month worth of raids, and then people are getting busted for this and this and that because you locked it up and decided you want to tell on everybody. But yeah, in my case, I don't got to worry about that.
Yeah.
And wow, man, it's something, man. It's like such a relief being over here on this side and just being my own man and fucking and being able to sleep in and being able to do this, what I'm doing right now. To be able to do a podcast and not throw nobody under the bus and not mention people's names and those that are, if they do ever run into this podcast and they hear the story, and they're gonna know how true and how real this was, and they're gonna, I'm not gonna have no kind of problems. There's not gonna be no repercussions because, for one, I didn't tell on nobody. I didn't give up no name or none of that. And at the same time, it's real. The people that know me real good, they're gonna remember. Oh yeah, fucking Javi, when he bounced, he didn't do nothing. He didn't cause no damage because I ran into people that locked it up afterwards. After I did, and they told me, yeah, fool, when you bounced, nobody was talking shit. They were just like, you fucking fag, you fucking got soft on us and bounced, and that's it. But there's some that really do. There's a lot of collateral damage and cause a lot of fucking hurt because they get people that get arrested in the streets when you're telling on people, and there's people that are getting locked up, and there's a domino effect. People are losing their kids, their house, their property, and some people cause a lot of damage. Those are the ones that have it hard when they come on this side. But yeah, man, okay, that's for this vato right here. It's funny because I could see his house from right here, and he's standing at the door, and right when I looked out, he put a window cover, like, oh shit, like I'm not going to day room today, and that's what he does sometimes. A lot of times he looks out, and he weighs it out, like, man, should I come out today? And sometimes he comes out and he sits on the table and he draws throughout the whole day room, but not one person goes and sits with him.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
He's starting to feel it, man. Yeah.
Hey, let me ask
They're
you.
about to run.
And does he have a celly?
Go ahead. No, so every time he gets a celly, and once they ask for his paperwork, and he don't show his paperwork, they bounce out. And then when they bounce out, we tell them, look, the paperwork is on the tablet, homie, and we punch in his name, and we show him. We're like, oh, shit, okay. So a lot of dudes, they don't want to get in trouble unless you're a gang member, SNY gang member from one of these gangs. And a lot of these dudes, they're pretty good at handling stuff like that. But over here right now, they're not really doing nothing. They're not taking care of business. So when they go to these other level 4s, they gotta explain themselves. Like, why didn't you do that? Why were you letting all these child molesters and rapists run around the yard and you guys weren't taking care of them? So they get in trouble. There's repercussions for them too. But they're not trying to get in trouble themselves either. They're trying to go home. There's a bunch of cats that are trying to go home too.
And have you ever been on a level 4 SNY yard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a level 4. I was in a level 4 180 SNY yard for 16 years.
Okay.
I just came from there. This is my first level 3 in my whole term. My whole entire 30 years. This is the first time I touched a level 3 SNY.
And are you a righteous level 3 or do you got a override, a level 3 a level 4 override?
I got an override. Yeah, I'm here on a tester. Like, hey, when I drove up, they're like, hey, check it out, YANEZ. One fucking ride up, your ass is going right back to a level 4 180. Homie.
Hey, you sneeze wrong.
Hey, yeah, they're like, you missed school, you're gone. If you farting on the other side of the yard and not hearing on my side, you're gone. Like,
hey, you drop one.
I'm walking on eggshells.
If you drop one and you don't
if
flush.
I drop one and I don't flush,
that's
yeah,
it.
they're like,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They're like, don't let me smell your stink because you're gone. You smell wrong, you're gone, man. But yeah, they got me walking on eggshells, man. I find myself waking up at 3:30 in the morning. I want to make sure I don't miss breakfast and I don't miss school. They got me traumatized, homie. Never in my life have I ever fucking felt this much pressure. But I'm doing it, man. So far so good. I ain't missed a day of school. I haven't given these dudes the reason to write me up. So I'm following orders, I'm doing me and I'm trying to make it out.
And let me ask you, so what would you prefer? What do you prefer, in your opinion, where to be? Do you prefer to be on a level 4 180 with other killers and other SCG groups, or on a soft level 3?
Yeah, what's crazy is that as far as the programming, I run to level 3 because there's a lot of programming. You can get a lot more done, and you can show the board that you're willing to to not get in trouble, even though there's a bunch of child molesters and rapists, and you're willing not to partake in the violence. So no, I would rather be on this side by a long shot. As far as the respect level, yeah, the one level, level 4, 180, it's always the way to go. But there's nothing there. Everybody there is miserable. There's no program. It's ugly. And I was there for 16 years. I mean, the only thing that was there was riots and killings and people hanging themselves every day, people killing their cellies. At least every 3 weeks, somebody's killing their cellies.
Oh, hold on. You said people hanging themselves?
Yeah. Oh, my God. There was a lot of hangings right there. A lot of dudes that were committing suicide. Oh, man. I ain't never seen so many. Right there in Kern Valley, it seems like the devil was loose right there. People were just, that was on a regular, at least once every 3 weeks, and then somebody was killing a celly, at least once a month. And it was ugly, though. It was ugly because they had no program, and they had this little guerra amongst two rival gangs, and every time they ran yard, they had like a little, oh shit, are they releasing Daniel? Hey, yo, get me out! Yeah. All right, here we go. Hey, but yeah, homie.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, you get to hear when I'm going to the day room right now.
Alright.
We're almost done right here, huh?
Yeah.
Watch, I estaba la door. Damn, that was me closing the door. Do you hear the noise? The difference in the noise?
Hey man, you're gonna have to do a MTV crib around your crib right there on your pad.
Hey, you know what? I think it'll be a good idea one of these days to do like a video call, man, and then maybe post it up for the podcast. What you think?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, and man, we'll plan it out or something. That way it'll be like me and Gary right there,
Okay.
Just fucking Gary. Maybe just for fun and give each other carrilla and shit, and you get to see like the little outline from the video call. You can actually see the background. You'll be able to see my cell where I live.
Okay.
So more than likely you'll paint a picture of how it is in here and how I live and shit like that.
Yeah.
But how many seconds we got left? How many seconds we got left on this one?
Right now, we got about 2 minutes left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, aquí está el Gary. ¿Qué onda, Gary? Te manda saludos aquí el jovito James. James,
Hey.
saludos.
All right.
Hello? Hey, what's up, my brother?
Hey,
How
what's
you
up?
doing?
Hey, what's up, Gary? Hey, I didn't know you spoke Spanish.
I don't speak Spanish. I understand it a little bit, but I don't speak it.
Yeah.
Hey, you pick up a thing or two, President.
That's right.
Hey, all right, James. Hey, you have a good day, my brother. Hey, I sent you a text. Did you get that? Thank
Hey, I
you.
got it.
Thank you for everything. I got everything.
All right, cool, perfect. Gracias.
All right, my brother. I haven't checked my topics. I've been at work all day. I got to go back to work right now. You take care, brother. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, then you too.
Bye, brother. Oh, man, hold on. Let me throw the earbud back on. Let me see it. Okay. What you know, Gary? We pulled Gary out of the work during his work hours, and he was hella nervous.
Hey,
You heard him?
yeah. It sounded like he was working out. But I was gonna tell you, Javier, I got
Yeah,
somebody
Yeah.
knocking on my door. Can you talk for like a few moments, and I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Handle.
So I'll stay right here, and I'll talk to the listeners, and pretty much it's almost about to run out of time. I think we got maybe an.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Whoop, there it is there. Got it right on the money. I was about to say a minute. So yeah, we got 58 seconds left. And so yeah, man, again, I want to take the time to say that I'm not trying to glorify none of this prison shit, man. This shit is real. This shit is real. What is it? What kind did you get? Yeah. It's all right. You got. Okay, I'll take the soda.
Hey,
Okay.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. All right. Hey, so okay. Yeah, I appreciate. I'll take the soda. Thank you. All right, Manny. I'm on the phone right now. I'll talk to you in a bit. Yeah.
All right, so it's
Okay.
about to cut. It's about
It's about to hang up. You want me to call back, or you want to call it in? You want me to call
Yeah,
back?
that's it. No, we're good. I gotta start getting ready for the holiday.
Okay, homeboy. You have a good one. You got and stay safe out there.
All right, then you too. All right, thank you.
All right.
All right.
All right. Bye.
All right, cool.
Bye.
All right, and for everybody listening, I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. And we'll go ahead and run another one tomorrow. And with that being said, you guys go ahead and have a good day.